Am I live? All right. Hi, everybody. It's been a little bit of a madhouse here in my kitchen. It's June. And I always feel like when it's June, it is summertime. I mean, they just go together. So it's just summertime in my book. So I thought we'd kind of get our heads into summertime with some really great veggie salads and fruit salads that will go with anything that you put on your grill. Doesn't make any difference. In fact, we're going to do a little barbecue tonight. I got some chicken. The girls really love barbecue chicken. I got some sausage, hot and sweet, because I love sausage on the grill. And then we also got burgers and dogs, because my sons and my husband kind of like the burgers and dogs. So what does summertime conjure up in your minds? Okay, I can't really see all your comments today because I'm a little far away, but I see all of our regulars are here. Hi, everybody. But doesn't it conjure up not just going outside and exercising because the weather's good, which of course it makes exercise so much easier in my book. It also makes healthy eating easier, because you can't get healthier than putting things on the grill. So I want to talk today about some of the fun things you can do that these go with anything you grill, anything from chicken to sausage to fish to burgers. All right, so I'm going to start with this recipe right here, which actually, you guys, comes from, and I'm going to have to figure out a way, because now you guys are going to say, where can I get that book? And I'll probably try to figure out a way to get it onto, if you go to joanlundenbook.com, Jonathan, publisher, if you happen to be listening, I'll send them a box. So this is a book I did. It's the paperback version. And I did this years ago when I was still at GMA. It's Joan Lunden's Healthy Cooking. But as a cookbook, this is what you truly call an evergreen, because a recipe is a recipe. So I went through and looked for some that I thought would be good for us today. See, we're going to do this. We're going to do the arugula with oranges, sliced oranges and black olives. I love that one. And we're going to do, what other ones did I pick? I picked out some that were, in my opinion, easy for you guys just to like have kind of at your fingertips. I picked out spinach with raspberries and papaya, because I love raspberries and papaya, which, by the way, anytime I give you ingredients to this, like, you guys can pick your own ingredients. So the first one is from my cookbook, and it is called my layered veggie salad. And this is kind of a no-brainer recipe, because you can pick what you like. You can put it in as big a bowl or small a bowl as you like. So what I did is I got some romaine lettuce, and again, arugula, mixed greens, whatever you, bib lettuce, whatever you like. And then you just layer it. And the whole idea, you can pick what veggies you want. I layered in a cup of canned kidney beans, which I drained and rinsed, and then a cup of garbanzo beans, drained and rinsed. Then beets. Now, if you really want to do this right, you can get, a bunch of beets, cook them, peel them, and then dice them. But I was lazy, so I just used a can of sliced beets, and then we diced them. The next thing is carrots, and again, I just bought. I'll show you what I did, because I mean this is going to show you how easy this is. I just used one of these. You can get it at the store, and they've already diced it for you. And the next thing is celery. Again, I did it at the store. Now, corn. So let's talk about the real way to do fabulous tasting corn. You can cook it. I love doing it on the barbecue. And then you take it and you cut the corn off. That's what really tastes so yummy. And make sure you get good corn. But if you are just throwing something together, here's what I didn't put in. It's just defrosted frozen corn. And I put in, you'll use about 3 ears of fresh corn if you're going to do a nice big salad. I just used 1 cup of defrosted corn, because, as I say, we've been here like slaving away. But you know what? It isn't. All we've done is we've chopped up a bunch of vegetables and we've chopped up a bunch of fruit. So back to the layered veggie salad. You can also use tomatoes. Now, when you go to serve it, obviously you're going to toss it all up, but it's putting it on the table looking like this. I've got some on the top here, the tomatoes. I used about 2 medium tomatoes, and then I had a bunch of scallions, chopped that up. And again, these are pitted olives that we just diced them up. But again, don't forget, they have to be pitted. And I think with this salad, you should probably use the black olives. We'll get to somewhere else, but you can also use Mediterranean olives if you like that best. And, just start and spread the first layer and keep going and pick out your favorite veggies. And if you don't like any of these, don't put them in. Or if any of your kids or family members, like my husband doesn't like black olives. See how I put those on the top and the scallions around? Oh, you can make this a whole meal. When you go to toss it, you can do chopped turkey or chopped chicken breast, or you can grill up some shrimp or salmon. You can use whatever you want, and you can make that a layer. But you have to just figure out how big your bowl is and figure out how you're going to do this. But once you toss this, you can even let people have their choice of the turkey or grilled shrimp or salmon. And so that's fabulous once you toss it and serve it. And you can just use whatever low-cal, come on, let's do low-fat dressing you want. Now, you can do the exact same thing with fruit. Can you tell what we're going to have for dinner tonight? I think you can. So again, we're just layering, okay? So this is best if you do all the work ahead of time, and it's really not a lot. You can buy, in fact, I bought containers of cubed honeydew. I bought my strawberries. I didn't have to cut any of this. All I had to do was put it in and make my layers. We kind of rushed on the dressing, but I'm going to give it to you because it's an awesome creamy lime dressing. Are you ready? We're going to post these things on the page, okay? I used an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Take it out in the morning, let it soften. Here's my golden doodle walking through my shot. And let that soften. And then you're going to beat together the cream cheese. And now you're supposed to put in a 1/2 cup of frozen limeade concentrate. 2 stores I went to, and I actually went. It was the first time I've been in a grocery store with my mask and my gloves. But it was the first time, I can't believe it, since March 10th. It was the first time yesterday that I walked into a grocery store. I couldn't find any frozen limeade concentrate, but I found frozen lime popsicles. And these are real just fruit popsicles. So we use that. So you're blending together the cream cheese and the frozen limeade concentrate. Every single concentrate of juice was gone. No orange juice, no lemonade, no limeade. A 1/4 cup of sugar, and then in another bowl with your electric mixer, mix up your cup of whipping cream. You get a little carton, it looks like half and half, but it's whipping cream. Mix it up with the electric mixer until you get those little stiff peaks, and then just put it all together. Mix it all together. Now, if you can figure this out, because we use kind of too big a bowl, okay? But if you use a smaller bowl, you can then use half of that whipping of your creamy lime dressing, half of it after you've done your cantaloupe and strawberries, and then put in your pineapple, and then I put in blueberries, and then I put in honeydew. But the reason why I did this, I'm just contrasting colors. You might like kiwi. You can do a layer of banana. You can do whatever kind of fruit you and your family likes. And then if you use a smaller bowl, you'll have the rest to put on top. What I did is I just sprinkled a few, and by the way, I got these too. They came quartered strawberries with the blueberries in it, like you find these at the store. So, you can put this together in no time at all. So now I want to get into, I like the idea of putting fruit into a salad. And so this is one I showed it to you in the book. Okay, so here it is. Now, it is a spinach salad with raspberries and papaya. Why raspberries and papaya? Very simple reason. They're my two favorite fruits. So this also is in my cookbook, and I decided to do a salad in my cookbook with two of my favorite fruits. And it's pretty because I did it with spinach. This thing is so filled with nutrients that it's mind-boggling between the papaya and the raspberries and the spinach. I really didn't use the whole thing. I got a 10-ounce container of the spinach. That's usually how they come. And you tear it into little bite-sized pieces. And then, make sure you rinse and dry it. We rinsed and dried everything. You rinse it and then you spin it dry. I did it like a restaurant would do it. Now, I wasn't sure. I was actually looking for cubed papaya. And in that case, I would have just mixed it all together. They didn't have cubed papaya, but I found a whole papaya. So we made some slices. And this is kind of how a restaurant would do it with all those little, how they plate things and they put the pretty papaya slices around the edges. But again, you can simply toss it all together if you find that container of cubed. And you can use a little, we concocted, listen to this, because this again, it's in my cookbook, I'll put it on my page. We use 2 teaspoons of grated orange rind, 2 tablespoons of just fresh orange juice, 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and a teaspoon of honey, and then vegetable or canola oil, whichever one, use 2 tablespoons, and then salt and pepper it to taste. And then you kind of put your spinach in it and mix that together with the raspberries. And again, if you want to just chunk the papaya, you can do that. I just wanted to do it like, maybe Wolfgang Puck or somebody. Remember, I learned to cook from Julia Child and Wolfgang Puck and Stephen Reichlin, who has that great barbecue book, and all these people. And so that's, to me, what you're doing. And by the way, you don't have to use papaya. You can use mango. You can use some nectarines or some peaches, like whatever you like. That's the whole idea of this. It's just you could do this with nectarines and then kiwi. The whole idea is that you contrast colors, because we do eat with our eyes. In fact, later this week, I'm going to be talking with a couple different doctors who are going to talk about how we eat with our brain, that our brain really tells us whether or not to have the ice cream or the fruit salad, So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do things so that you kind of eat with your eyes. And that's the same with this next one. And this next one I also took out of my cookbook, Joan Lunden's Healthy Cooking. And you might, Tori, come on in, Tori. Tori works for us, and she's been with us for probably more years than she'd like. But she's way more than a nanny. She is not a cook, she is a chef. And you have been my big helper today. What I need you to do now is to let the dog outside. But I wanted to introduce you to Tori, because she's kept us alive during this pandemic. And it's fun being in the kitchen with her because she really loves cooking. And like with all these things, so in this I used arugula, but you can use what you want, mixed greens, romaine, fib lettuce. But this is kind of a Mediterranean salad. I was going through a whole bunch of Mediterranean salads. I wanted to put one of them in the cookbook. And I was trying to figure out which one. I just thought this was a super interesting combination of orange slices and black olives. You can also, of course, use like a Mediterranean olive. And I sprinkled, so here, one thing though, you got to know how to do the oranges. Take off all the rind and take out any pith. That's such a funny word, isn't it? The pith. And then cut it crosswise, okay? You're not going to take it down in its normal little containers. You use a serrated knife okay, because that's the easiest way. And, just cut thin slices down because you want it to come out. Like I'm going to cut the center out of that and then just layer them around. And you can salt and pepper to taste, and you can use whatever dressing you like on this. You can also just use like a little lime juice and honey and like whisk it together. And that's like so simple, but it's a really great taste on this. But you can also drizzle olive oil on it. And, I like to use like a good grinding pepper for a salad. And if you can use Himalayan sea salt, and again, you grind it, it's just more substantial, for the salad. And use Himalayan or any kind of, real good pink or the kind of salt, not just regular table salt. So those are fun things to do. And again, like we just threw these together in the last 45 minutes, maybe. But you can use all kinds of fruit in your salads. And what it does is it just lets you have something that's prettier to the eye. So when you put it on the table, like these things get, oohs and ahs. Like, ooh, how did you do that? Well, it really wasn't that hard. You can see that we didn't whip things together quite. It should really be really creamy. So it's seeping down a little bit. But this is the other reason why I think you should get your fruits together. And then right as you sit down and start eating, then just like put them in and make your layers and use fresh fruit. Make sure you get really fresh fruit for these things. So then I love watermelon. Do you guys like watermelon? I put them in every smoothie I make. Like I have this green smoothie I do in the morning with spinach and sometimes kale and a little avocado. You can use almond milk, but I just use avocado because anything with avocado is good in my book. And you can put some fruit in. I usually put raspberries, duh, or strawberries. Strawberries can make it a little bitey though, and it can leave those little seeds. You can do it with blueberries. You can do it with blackberries, but again, you get those little seeds. But watermelon's kind of tricky because watermelon is mostly water. So when you do a smoothie, if you got to put in enough watermelon to really get the watermelon taste, but not too much, or you end up with this super watery smoothie. But to me, watermelon is just one of the things I love about summer. So I'm going to talk about a fruit salad with watermelon. And by the way, I think in my cookbook, there's also a watermelon salad that I got a lot of my recipes from the pros that I work with. And I remember they said always when you're looking for it, it lays in the field on one side. So look for that side. And if it's white, then it probably isn't going to be as sweet and juicy. But if it's yellow, see how this is kind of yellow? That means that that's a good choice to make. So I had a couple of watermelon salads I wanted to do this morning, but then I decided that I couldn't pull them all off in the last hours. But this one's super easy. Now, we used a baller. You guys got one of these? Baller. But you don't have to do that. You can just, get a seedless watermelon. Okay, that's the number one thing. You have to have this. This is a seedless watermelon. So when you get the seedless watermelon, you can just chunk it. You can just cube it if you want. But if you have a baller, it just makes it prettier. Because see, in here you've got, this is the, it's supposed to have honeydew, by the way, but I used all my honeydew over there. But it is really pretty when it's got the red of the watermelon and the green of the honeydew. But you work with what you have, okay? We did that one first, and we used all of our honeydew. So I just put in, we put cantaloupe, and here again, see how fun it is when it's like, in the little round ones? And it doesn't take that much longer. It is it's really all about presentation. So for this one, this is my melon berry fruit salad. All right, guys? I'll give you the amounts, but again, it depends on how many people. You might want to do this for yourself, you're going to use a teeny bit of each one of these things, all right? But we used about 3 cups of the balled watermelon, seedless, a couple of cups of balled honeydew. We got just a fresh cantaloupe and did it. We could have used the chunked kind that you buy in the store, but we got one. And when you buy a cantaloupe, a nutritionist once said to me, when you're going to go to the store and you bring stuff home, if you just put that cantaloupe in the refrigerator or that watermelon, it likely will be there all mildewy on one side where it's sitting a week from now, and you'll throw it away. It's crazy. So she always said, when you bring your groceries into the house and you have your groceries there on the counter, cut them up, cube them, and put them in little containers, because then every time you want to eat, it's like a no-brainer. You go and it's like, oh, okay, I can do this, and this. And that's when you'll do that instead of the grilled cheese sandwich. Okay? So in this, so I said the watermelon, the honeydew, a couple cups of strawberries. Make sure if you do the fresh ones, hull them is what they call it, and then quarter them. Or again, in this case, we bought a container. Well, these are actually some of our fresh strawberries here that we quartered. But you again can get containers of fresh quartered strawberries with like blueberries. They sell them in every store. And then we've also added the blackberries. So I use 3 berries. And again, you can do whatever you want. You can use whatever kind of fresh fruits you want. But these berries are so filled with antioxidants. And watermelon, believe it or not, is filled with the antioxidant lycopene. In fact, watermelon has more lycopene than any vegetable, which is kind of crazy. And it's filled with nutrients. It's filled with water, which we all need. And I think I've talked about this before, but the water contained in fruits and vegetables is actually a better source of hydration because it's a different kind of water molecule than just liquid. So the more you can get your hydration from cantaloupe or watermelon or pineapple or cantaloupe or honeydew, any of these, or any fruits, celery, any veggies, celery and beets and everything, the better it is for you. So on this one, again, you can just whisk together a little honey and lime juice. That's it. So this is all about the watermelon, how to get it. And then I'm going to show you this. Do you guys like smoothies? Do you make smoothies? They're pretty darn easy. And you can get a little container. I don't see ours back there. It must be in the sink to be washed. But the thing when you do a smoothie is, again, you have to really, really remember that watermelon just kind of like goes down to nothing. So you got to put, if you want the watermelon flavor, you guys, this tastes so good. All right, this is a 3 ingredient smoothie. That's it. 3 ingredients. I bet you if you guys have this stuff in your house, you're going to go make one. And this is super good. And it's super filled with nutrients because the 3 ingredients are 3 cups of cubed watermelon. Like, remember, you got to put enough watermelon in. Seedless, again, seedless, to actually get the watermelon flavor. And this really has the watermelon flavor. And then 2 heaping cups, and again, cut this in half if it's just you. 2 heaping cups, but we let a few other people have this too. 2 heaping cups of frozen strawberries. Okay, so just keep some frozen strawberries in your freezer. And then the other thing and then your 1 banana. So here's what I'm going to say. You can just use a banana, like any banana in your house. But if you remember, like we did last night, to take the banana, peel it, cut it in a couple of chunks, put it in a little tiny baggie, and put it in the freezer. Because once you use a frozen banana and the 2 cups of frozen strawberries, and then those 3, cups of cubed watermelon, I didn't put any water, I didn't put any ice, I didn't put anything else. Oh, but you know what else I would put? Check this out. All right. By the way, I forgot to tell you that I put mint. This orange slices with the black olives and the arugula, this is mint all over the top. I'm like a huge fan of mint. I love, oh my God, it smells so good. And it's such a fun idea. And then there's nothing better than the smell of fresh basil in the house and fresh mint. I've always said that I'm going to try to grow a little bit of that, but I'm not exactly, a gardener. It's not just a gardener. I'm just not particularly creative or handy with that, but I'd like to. So what I want to do today, and look, I've got things I've used, the olive oil I used in one recipe for the dressing, a little bit of white wine vinegar, honey. And look, you guys, if your kids taste it and say, it's not sweet enough for me, then you can use a little bit of honey or maybe maple syrup. But this has no refined sugar, okay? No refined sugar. We got a guy coming on later this week, Dr. Mike Dowd, has a book, something like The Brain Sugar Fix. And it's so great to be able to just have fresh fruits and no sugar. Don't start putting Splenda or anything else in it. Just a little bit of honey if you need it. But I don't think you're going to need it any sweeter than this. I've used fresh limes and fresh lemons. And, I don't have the zester out here, but, just use your zester on the outside for some of these dressings. And get fresh herbs. These are in the can, so they're easy, but they're still fresh, freeze-dried dill. And again, fresh, freeze-dried parsley. So that way, you might not always have, fresh parsley or fresh dill around the house. But if you have those, you have kind of the version of it. All right. So let me just see what a few of you are saying. Let me see if I can scooch over and see what a few of you guys are saying. Why seedless? Okay, Rosalie. Why seedless? Okay. Well, why seedless is that when this gets put on your little plate here, well, this gets put, hold on guys, onto your plate, and you start taking little bites of the fruit, you don't want to have seeds in there, okay? Then you have to start have you ever had to start picking out the seeds? I'll just put a little bit on here. But you can see, look, because this is how it's going to come to you, So you don't want to have to start these are great little balls of watermelon. You don't want to have to start digging out the seeds. And especially for this, you really don't want the seeds, okay? All the stores have seedless watermelons. You just have to look at the side. Let me see. Let me show you guys. And for these salads, you use about a 7 or 8 pound watermelon. But see right here, just look for that little sign. Let me put it up close enough so you can see. See where it says, let me do it so you guys can see it. See where it says seedless? And quite frankly, I always like seedless watermelon because I don't like having to constantly, and again, look for that little yellow spot. That's where it's kind of sat out in the field as it's getting ripe. And you want to look for the little bit of the yellowish on it. Let's see, what is somebody else saying? So you got that, Rosalie? Was that a good enough answer for you? All right, you just don't want those seeds that everybody has to pick out. Let's see, love the food live. Yeah, you want me to do this more often? I can. It's a lot of work. But you know what? It's fun. You can make preparation of food for yourself or your family fun. But I think that now that it's summertime, we're going to want to get outside more. And it sounds like we're going to be able to get outside a little bit more if things loosen up. And you can also go outside because you're outside. We're going to have my in-laws over tonight because we're going to sit at a great big long table. They've been totally quarantined. We've been totally quarantined. But, just to be smart, we've got a great big long patio table outside. So we're just going to stay at a safe distance. And guess what we're going to have for dinner? Great fresh fruit and also freeze-dried herbs. Yeah, to me, this is one of like the real secrets of things. You can also get in the store those little packages. I also love getting those little packages of fresh basil. If you get a whole bunch of it, it's like too much. But you can get the fresh basil. It's such a great smell. As I was bringing in everything in this morning, it's like, oh my God, this is the fresh mint. To me, this is another, it's kind of like watermelon. It's one of those things that says summertime. Let's see what else. Nicole in the office, like, enjoyed the food segment. Good, good. Thank you, Catherine. Uh-oh, you think, Joan, I have been eating seeds. Well, no more. So, okay, but you know, Rosalie, it's fine if they only have like regular watermelon with seeds in it. You know, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to get across today, is that you can use whatever you have. And when you go to the store, shop with your eyes. LOL, call me. I'll teach you how to garden. All right, that's a good idea, because I'd really love to have some fresh herbs. I'd really like to have fresh mint. When I was a little girl, my dad, he was really not a complete vegetarian, but he had my brother and me, we would go along in the little rows and take out the little bit, and you're whoop, 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 whoop. Well, so much for that. Here, I probably should get that. As I said, I'm not exactly on the, what is it? The Food Network. Oh, my smoothie though. All right, we'll leave it for now. But you eat with your eyes, and therefore it's a good idea to shop with your eyes. Color. If you just remember one thing from today, every nutritionist we've had on so far has said if you have a colorful plate, and let's see if I remember, a plate, it's called My Plate now from Food FDA. The My Plate is a quarter vegetables, a quarter fruits, a quarter carbohydrates. So that means not the huge amount of mashed potatoes, but you know, sweet potato or brown rice. That's a quarter, and then a quarter meat. So, you know, if we can kind of remember that My Plate in our heads, but look, you can imagine what my little shopping spree at the grocery store was like yesterday, just looking for all these colors. See, the carrots, and just do things. You don't have to do what the things I did, but put the beets next to the carrots. Put, you know, just do contrasting colors, and the same with the fruits, just contrasting colors. Whoops, my creamy lime dressing is kind of seeping down, but there you go. You see the cantaloupe, then the strawberry, then a little bit of the creamy, then pineapple, then blueberry, and then honeydew. It's all a matter of shopping and prepping, and then people eat with their eyes. All right, so let's see what time it is here. It's 1:33. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off for now. And you guys can send me your recipes if you like. Listen, if you send me some recipes, maybe I'll do another one like this. It doesn't have to be fruits and veggies. It can be how you do a grilled shrimp and whatever. You can send me some recipes, and then maybe I can do some of your recipes here. Or maybe we're planning to do a Zoom, a fan Zoom, and people can have their different recipes, okay? The whole thing is, all of this is about sharing with each other and getting each other in the mood for summertime, and in the mood for healthy cooking and therefore healthy eating. I'm going to see if I can find a way to get you guys to be able to order this is like, I guess, the older sister to this book, because I came out with this first, healthy cooking, then healthy living, then growing up healthy. I think I've been on a little bit of a kick here trying to help disseminate information. And of course, my publisher, Jonathan, would be upset if I didn't do my shameless book plug of the day. Why did I come into this room? You can get that everywhere. And it's been fun, guys. And now I have a fabulous dinner to serve tonight. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk tomorrow. with Cheryl Smith. She has a podcast called Engaging Conversations. Aging, the part of engaging, aging is really what all the conversations are about. We're going to be talking about what we should be thinking about for our own later years, what paperwork we should have, what we should have on our parents, instead of waiting until that moment of crisis, that phone call, somebody fell and broke a hip or had a stroke or whatever, and trying to think about it then. And she talks to experts all the time, so I'm looking forward to talking to Cheryl. All right, that's going to be tomorrow. Namaste. Bye-bye, everyone.